Germany is looking for gas, with Russia severely lowering deliveries. Norway and Qatar jumped in, but with many looking anxiously towards heating season, Norway says it cannot increase its gas supplies to Germany. It already delivers all the gas it can. That's according to Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre during a press conference which he held with the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Oslo. Any further boost would necessitate new gas discoveries. Previously, Qatar announced that it cannot deliver more gas either. Now, the fallout from Russia's war in Ukraine has pushed gas prices in Europe to new records. Future contracts trading in Amsterdam saw sharp increases when Russia invaded Ukraine back in February, and more hikes when it reduced deliveries to European countries. Now, last year, Russian imports accounted for more than half of gas deliveries to Europe, with almost a third of gas demand coming from the industry and just over 40% from households. Political leaders in Berlin say they are doing what they can to replace Russian gas with renewable energies, but that'll take time. Last year, Russian gas deliveries accounted for almost 500 million gigawatts hours of energy. So far this year, only 3,500 gigawatt hours were added in solar and only 1,500 in wind energy. So let's get Carol Nachles' view on this. She is the head of the advisory firm Crystal Energy. Welcome to DW, Carol. Germany is trying to transition away from Russian gas. By the looks of it, the country still has quite a way to go. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not easy. If it was, for example, oil or coal, you would have found it maybe a faster solution. But gas, by its nature, is a long-term business. You rely on pipeline gas, which took decades to build and to be functioning and to be filled up. So it's not something that can happen overnight. I know that Germany is working very hard on reducing its consumption of natural gas, and particularly of natural gas coming from Russia. And they have done, significant progress to date. But to say it's going to turn its back entirely on it, it's not just Germany, many European countries and many countries around the world as well. It's going to take a while. This is the reality of the gas business, unfortunately.
So even with the political motivation to turn away from Russian gas, Germany will still need Kremlin-approved gas in the future, for that matter.
Well, in the future, again, this is a question of time. So in the future, the longer term, there's plenty of gas around and not necessarily coming from Russia. It just takes time to take that gas out of the ground, put it, either in pipeline or on ships like LNG, liquefied natural gas. You do have available, but it just takes time to build the terminals to export it. And even if they are there, you need the terminals to import it. And that's what you don't have in Germany. This is going to be built. But when you have more LNG coming to Germany, then you don't really need Russian gas. You can do easily without Russian gas, but that will take time.
Now, there are people who are fearing a gas shortage when it comes to heating season in the coming months, not only in Germany, but in other countries in Europe as well. Should it come to that, who should be prioritized, companies or households?
Well, look, it's a question of balancing economics with morality and political interest. But usually, I think most governments would agree that households should be given the priority, and then industries will have to cope. Even the economic cost might be much more significant. But if I were to answer it from a moral perspective, I would say households should come first.
Big efforts are underway in Europe, as I mentioned, to move away from Russian gas. But if we look at other parts in the world, what does the picture there look like?
Well, it seems that, it's very variable, because in the US, for example, we have with the Biden administration, they are going quite aggressively on climate change. But in the last bill that they passed, the Inflation Reduction Act, we can see that they are almost giving similar treatment to green energy and electric vehicles as also conventional oil and gas. Asia is pretty hardcore. They will stick to fossil fuel for as long as it takes, because they put great emphasis on energy security, quite rightly so, because I think what Europe Europe came to realize after this energy crisis is that you cannot really separate between climate security and energy security and focus only on climate security. You cannot achieve climate security, climate targets without meeting the requirements of energy security first. And that's what we're seeing today in Europe, a more leniency towards investments in gas, for example. And that's why gas has been classified as a green investment in the EU following the crisis.
Carol, briefly, if you could, how long will it take for a highly industrialized nation like Germany to move away from fossil fuels, to become independent from fossil fuels?
Well, it will take a while. It will take really decades and not years.
Carol Nachle, founder and CEO of advisory firm Crystal Energy. Carol, thank you for your time.
Thank you.